Hey everyone, I'm Ultraviolent4 and I'm welcoming you to a new playthrough of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. We're going to be going for a fourth game in a win streak and we're going to be playing a Mummy Berserker. I wouldn't say that's your standard combo. It's a bit of an odd one. I think it's probably fairly uncontroversial to say that one of the biggest benefits of a berserker is that you get to berserk, but mummies can't. I'm noticing we got some nice new menus going on in Trunk, it looks like, so this is pretty cool. This combo is actually a request from Vinnyfish. It was a long time ago I've been sitting on it, but here it is, we're finally getting around to it. And as far as our weapon goes, I don't know, I feel like it should probably be a mace, because if you're a mummy, you're literally made of pieces of paper. So I feel like a mummy wouldn't want to have sharp implements. Maybe that's just me, but it seems very dangerous. So we're going to go for a blunt instrument. We're going to pick a mace. Alright, Mummy Berserker. So we don't get to berserk. Let's have a look at ourselves. Oh, this is funny. It's in the middle. I'm not used to this. It's usually on the left. Alright, so Mummy is usually considered one of the worst species in the game. And that's for a whole bunch of reasons. Let me show you the skill menu first. If we have a look. Well, first of all, they gain experience really slowly. So you tend to be underleveled. Secondly, in terms of your aptitudes, except for a couple fighting 0, spellcasting's +2, and a couple of -1s, everything is -2. Necromancy 2, that's 0. So your skills are always underleveled. They're really slow in getting anything going. If you've watched my videos, you would know that I tend to like training 5 or 6 skills at once. Cannot do that on a mummy. If you try to train too many things and not focus when your aptitudes are this bad, you'll tend to be just terrible at everything, and it's a good way to die. So I'll need to focus here a bit. Fortunately, Trog makes some of this a little bit easier because most of the whole right hand side here we can't learn. He's going to get angry if we use any magic or train any magic, so we're going to be focusing more on the left here. Alright, so for a mummy, we're undead. We cannot berserk. Does it tell us that here? It doesn't, but we can't really transmutate either. I think at all. Yeah, we can't transmutate at all. There are some other spells that don't work because we're undead, such as regeneration doesn't work. We have no food clock, which is nice. That's usually more beneficial to you if you're playing a caster, because then you don't have to worry about spell hunger. But we're going to be a melee guy who can't even berserk, so I can't even say we save food on berserking because we can't. Other things that are terrible. Our flesh is vulnerable to fire. If I have a look at the percent screen, we have a red X on that. It means until we can get rid of that, we're extremely susceptible to anything with fire. Things like orc wizards. And speaking of orc wizards, I'm going to skip a few. Oh, right. No, it is still the first one. You cannot eat or drink. So the second bit of that means that you can't ever quaff potions. In this day and age, that means you have no access whatsoever to haste. You, of course, can never heal wounds. And most importantly, you cannot ever quaff potions of curing. Basically, for a mummy, anytime you get confused, that is essentially paralysis. So wizards, very, very dangerous in the early game. Fire and confusion, or fire and paralysis, if you can think about it that way. But maybe even worse, because monsters can chain confuse you, whereas they can't chain paralyze you. So yeah, that's not good. I'm going to step off the upstairs. It always makes me nervous sitting there, because I just feel like I'm accidentally going to leave the dungeon. And I know that's not a thing, because it will actually prompt me to type yes, but I still feel it. We are undead, which means we're immune to poison. We get a point of RC. We're completely immune to negative energy and torment, so all these things are good. And we can survive without breathing, so we can't be engulfed. We can't be slept by dream sheep. All those things. I think that's about it. We want to go for our most important skill, which is always your weapon. So I'm going to go for maces and flails. We're going to focus that. I'm also going to keep fighting on for more HP, and then I'm going to stop there. Ultimately, we do want to train more armor and dodging, but I think it's more important just to get our weapon going. Good. A couple other things, you'll note that there are no red X's appearing behind our character. That's mostly for your sanity, that I'm not playing with the trap exclusion lure file. It is still optimal to do it, and maybe if I was streaking just playing on my own I would use it. I agree that it's tedious, but I don't want to make you all sit through it, so I'm going to be just playing normally here. And hopefully we don't get trapped, because very nasty for a mummy. Well, very nasty for any character, but especially if you get shafted on a weak character, it's much worse for you. And the final thing was that I'm also planning to try to show off ghosts here. So there have been some changes to ghosts. Once upon a time, not once upon a time, I think for as long as I can remember, as long as I played Crawl certainly, ghosts always wandered around and then they could never leave the floor that they were created on. So now the way that they work is they'll always be inside rune doors or transporters. So essentially you can choose whether or not you want to engage with ghosts. I would like to show them off. That's the aim. I splattered a whole bunch of characters just before doing this. Unfortunately, there are a bunch of people playing, so maybe they're stealing my ghosts. I don't know. Fingers crossed we'll see one of them. I did it manually. I decided not to use a bot to spam ghosts. I know what happened to the last person who did that. Yeah, okay. Maybe it's not such a big issue now because they're skippable, but all the same. So let's play a Mummy Berserker. Trog isn't going to do much for us on level 1 because we can't berserk. He will be very handy though when he gives us Trog's hand. Mummies can't regen with the regen spell, but they can certainly regen with Trog's hand. That guy didn't wake up. I'm actually going to avoid him. The reason is that when you're XL level 1, an enemy that has a weapon in their hand is basically like they have double damage because it's their base damage plus the weapons. So I'm going to try to avoid him if I could. And we can come back when we're stronger. One of the things that I'd like to do in this playthrough, actually, speaking of Trog, is that I'd like to show you that even without Berserk, Trog is a really strong god. And that's because it gives you gifts, am I right? All the new players are like, yeah, it's a gift god, of course Trog is amazing. No, not for that reason either. This isn't good. So we've got 2 goblins with weapons chasing us. Fortunately, I've managed to find a couple of pillars here. So I've got, this looks like it's a pillar, but this is unknown. So running around this one to regen if we need to is probably not a good idea. The better one would be this block here. I could also potentially run around this one, but I'm a bit worried about that one getting trapped inside it. Is that true? Yeah, I'm a bit worried. So what we can do is we can start fighting them in the hallway here, so only one at a time can hit us. And then if one hits us for half our HP, we'll start running around to pillar dance. So I'm going to take this slowly. If we XV him, he can do 4 plus his club, which, let's look that up. Maybe I should start running now because enemies can always random energy, which means they can hit you twice. A club is 5 damage. So this guy can do 8. I'm going to keep going. If we get hit one more time, then we'll start pillar dancing. Come on. This is always the worst bit of streaking, just your very early experience level 1 where you have no options. Well, we can never drink, so that's never an option. We have no scrolls, we have nothing. We don't even have the ability to berserk. So, yeah. Alright, we got the first one. Holding my breath here. Alright, we got him in 1. That's good. And let's rest up. Alright, nice. I like how the potions just, we don't even pick them up. We don't care. You can pick gods that sort of help you with mummy issues. So, for instance, Gozag is really popular with mummies because potion and petition lets you effectively use potions. And you can even do that when you're confused. Another one that I really like is Rue, because you can use draw out power when you're confused, and that gets rid of it. So that's another really good one. Glowing short sword is interesting. It's pointy, but I'm not going to pick that up because it could just be a curse -3 sword. I mean, that could be something really, really handy, like a venom sword. Maybe I'll pick it up and we can test it when and if we find curing potions. Sorry, not curing potions, remove curse. A cloak gives us 1 extra AC. It's a purple, that looks like. That's pretty rocking. And I head towards this door here. Doors are really powerful in the early game because a lot of the monsters that you find can't open them. Like frilled lizards, for instance. You could shut a door on a frilled lizard and it will just stand there being frilly on the other side. Yeah, I'm avoiding that goblin as well. Hey, we got trapped. Fortunately a good one, but there you go. We're immediately being punished for not having the trap RC. You can see there. That could have potentially killed us, but not this time. And you might wonder, why am I manually exploring if I'm not doing trap RC? Why don't I just do auto explore? It's because in the early game, especially on a weak character on D1, I think it's much safer to manually explore. We're trying to use doors, we're trying to stay near pillars, we're trying to explore in a way that isn't just a long corridor, such that if we have to retreat, enemies can come in from the sides. When I feel stronger, I'll start auto exploring, which on a mummy might not be till maybe D3 or something. We'll see. It's a very scary time in the streak life, especially on something this week. We'll be a bit stronger when we get access to Trog's hand. Alright, so this guy nailed us with that rock. We can throw them back. No, not anymore. Okay, he's running at us. So what I started doing there is I started pillar dancing and I waited for him to get random energy to catch us. When a monster gets a positive random energy, they're likely to soon after get a negative one. So that means now that if I start fighting him and I need to run away, I can be more sure that he's going to drop back rather than catch us. We do want all the stones. We're streak players. We're streaking right now. Let's just throw stuff. It's free damage. Potentially. Man, we one-shot that guy. The dart slug is ranged, so I stepped around the corner to force it to come to us. We reached level 2, that doesn't do anything. We're not a book background where we can now learn a new spell. I think we're probably okay for D1. I'm going to start auto-exploring now. Oh, I don't like that actually. Leopard geckos are quite scary. They're faster than you, so you can't run from them. They do up to 5 damage. And that's basically it. Oh, I was going to try to stop him with the door. Well, there's nothing else we can do, so we may as well throw some stones. There's no point running from him. Oh, nice, we got him. Alright. We're smashing face with the mace. I want to keep a lookout for any armor. We haven't seen any. You start off in a animal skin as a berserker, which is not a very good armor. Basically anything you see that's not a robe is probably better. I think even leather armors are better, but maybe they're the same. Yeah, let's get some free damage. Just kidding, they all did nothing. Maces and flails goes to 3. I think it's likely that I would rather pick a shield. I don't know. It's not something that I should pick at this point. But basically, when you do have a weapon gifting god like Trog, you're more or less eventually going to get a good weapon of the type you want. So you have a little... Oh, that's Jessica. She's actually less dangerous than normal. Whoa. This screen's different. It's got the little spell symbols on it, and it's in red. Okay, so normally her most dangerous thing is pain, because it can hit you for a lot of damage, but we're immune to pain, which is interesting to me that it's in red. Because pain is negative energy, so she can't do that to us at all. So you can see here, her pain is D14. So if you're a normal character, like say we were something that wasn't undead, she could two-shot us. The vast majority of the time she won't, but just know that every now and then she'll just go totally ham and just go zap zap, and you're like, there's pain I feel, I'm not dead. Rip. Anyway, we're going to X that stair out. Not because I'm afraid of Jessica, but there's way too much stuff there, including a worm. Hey, right, I can use my auto travel. It's glorious. I'm manually walking to the stairs. The Spriggan game has gotten to my brain. I've gone crazy. He's got a short sword. That's fine. I noticed that we've made it to 2 pips of piety, so we now have the ability for Trog's hand. Let's describe it before I accidentally use it. Okay, so it does a couple of things. We spoke about the regeneration, which is nice for basically any difficult fight. It's something that I'm going to try to drill into your head this playthrough, because it gets underused so often by newer players who are trying to learn the game playing Trog. It is good in every non-trivial fight, because having higher regen is good. It's like having extra HP. You're more survivable. The other thing it does is it gives you 2 points of MR+. So MR++. Does it say that here? Significant protection from hostile enchantments. So this is going to be our go-to against things like orc wizards, because if we have the extra MR, it's going to make it harder for them to confuse us. I think with Trog's hand it's impossible to get orc wizard confused. Maybe I'm wrong. We're going to test this hatch. I'll go to the new stair. It's probably not wise. For all I knew, Sigmund could have been sitting there, could have been in the middle of a null pack, and so on. Hey, we got trapped again. Alright. Here's an adder. So, we're immune to poison, so in some ways an adder is less dangerous to us than a normal monster is, but I'm still going to avoid that. You can definitely die early game to an adder, even on an undead species. They're fast, they're evasive, and they still can bite significantly hard. Here's a quokka, who's also a fast enemy. Is fast and can bite for up to 5, so this is not as bad as a snake, but still kind of bad. Alright, so we get an increase to our attributes. What do? Definitely not int. There's no point having int, because with Trog you can't cast spells. Berserker is also a very high strength background, so we start off with 20. The heaviest armor requires 23 strength, so I think we probably don't need to do that. Although maybe we do, because I'm just thinking, I don't know what stats mummies get as they level up. I think it's random. So maybe what I'll do is I'll go strength until we make it to 23, and then I'll start doing dex for more dodging. What's nice about strength in modern crawl, which means it's never wasted even if you have 40 strength, is that strength gives you higher damage on your weapons. So yeah, more damage is good. This worm can hit for 12, but it's slow. So I can hit it, and then if I'm going to die, run back to the stairs. Arguably it would be better to take it upstairs first, because say we nearly died and I ran back and then some other monster came up, maybe the adder hurt us. It could be dangerous, but not punished that time. Oh boy, there's a goblin with a dagger of distortion. Okay, well we don't want to fight him at all. We want to get as far away from him as we can, because if he wakes up, we're in trouble. There's a shaft there. I could potentially try to shaft him, but I'm sort of just then pushing the danger down the road because then we'll have to deal with him on a lower floor. It's probably better that I just stay away from up there. I explore down here and then just move on to the next floor. Distortion, not only can it just damage you really badly, it can also banish you to the abyss. And being banished to the abyss on a level 3 character is a death sentence. Especially when you can't drink and you have no potions. It's possible that you could get really lucky if you had, say, a haste and a might and an agility and an invis and something, and you got some pretty easy monster. You buffed up, you killed it and got out, but as a mummy we can never do that. You note here that Trog appreciated your killing of a magic user. We get extra piety when we kill evil wizards, because they're nerds. Trog doesn't like nerds, basically. There's 2 of our downstairs. So we could move on now. I think there's not too much danger in exploring here. We're still really far away from the distortion dagger. And it's a 10 speed monster anyway. If he turns up, we can always just walk away, as long as he isn't adjacent to us. We got some free stone damage that time. All our scrolls are singles. It's not telling us anything useful. Man, I'm remembering back when I was really new. I played Crawl for quite a while before I got my first win, which was a Minotaur Berserker. And then after that, I decided I wanted to play a 15-rune Mummy. And I played so many of those guys. But anyway, the thing that I was just thinking of is, there used to be wands of fire. Not wands of flame, wand of fire. And those things would one-shot you. It was the worst thing ever. You would just, it'd be like, the hobgoblin comes into view. The hobgoblin hits you with a blast of fire. It burns. Ouch, that really hurts. You die. Like, oh, okay. Well, fair enough. I think maybe we'll just do this little bit over here and then we'll move on. And it's from Dungeon 3 that I think we can start finding ghosts. So, we'll see how that goes. My understanding is that it's about a 10% chance on any given floor to spawn one of these new ghost vaults. And then I'd have to get lucky that it would have to be one of the ghosts that I made. Which, again, people have been playing. Including Alcopop. I saw you starting a new game. If you're stealing my ghost, I'm going to be mad. Damn you, Alco. I was thinking about trying to do this during the World Cup final because I figured no one would be playing, but that was at 1 AM in Australia, so I was going to be too tired. Anyway, so D3, checking my scrolls. We've got 2 or something. I don't mind reading it. We want to stand on the stair in case it's that thing, teleport. And we may as well use that to ID our scrolls. Oh, nice, we found ID. Sorry, we found teleport. We're never going to have potions, so there's no point waiting for potions. We got fear and teleport, so now we have 2 decent escape options potentially. Especially fear in the early game is pretty much going to get most things that you're worried about. I see an orc. I'm now more afraid than the monsters would be from a fear scroll, because that indicates that there might be a whole orc pack, which potentially means wizards. But it doesn't look like it. It seems like he was alone. Alright, let's go back to... I'm auto-exploring. I probably shouldn't be. Oh yeah, here's an armor. Did we see others and I just ignored them? Yes. No. Yes. Okay. Well, we should put this on. So that we go to 611 in terms of ACEV from 312. Yeah, it's pretty clearly better. And we're going to keep trying to upgrade that to as heavy as we can find. Here's remove curse. Let's try this glowing short sword. It's a short sword of draining. It's +2. I don't think this is of any use to us. If that was venom such that we could then poison things and kite them, then maybe. But Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't hurt us to carry it, but I don't think that helps in any meaningful way. If we're going to be meleeing stuff, we'd rather just melee them with the mace. Alright, so this is an example of really bad exploring. And I'm doing this manually, but see this stair? We've explored a long way down and right, but nothing to the left of the stair. So say we had to run back to the stair now, things could be running in from that other side and they could trap us before we could get back up. Let's try to remedy that. Okay, more orcs. 2 orcs. Very strong indication that this is a pack. He has just a plain whip, but he had a chainmail. Alright, so we're gonna up our AC again. 611 to 98. Nice. All things being equal, you would rather have more AC than evasion. Oh no. Okay, here's Grinder. Grinder has a 54% chance to paralyze us. Doesn't have the pain, fortunately, but even just hitting can hit for 11, so that's scary on its own. So what I'm going to do is Trog's Hand, and now if we XV Grinder, it's only a 4% chance to paralyze us. And we're going to run back to the stairs, because we absolutely cannot fight Grinder. I'll take the Quokka up. That stair needs to be X, so we're playing a tough combo in a Mummy. Yes, even though it's a Berserker, it's still tough. We're getting a pretty rough start with a D2 Distortion Dagger and a D3 Grinder. Where was Grinder? We need to stay away from that stair. This might be another flaw where we need to prematurely leave it. If we get some tool, maybe a wand or something, we could maybe fight her, but certainly not trying to hit her with a +0 mace. And here is our first Orc Wizard. So let's start walking away. That's really scary too. And do it slowly because Orc Wizards can blink. If I just think, hey, this Orc's between the Orc Wizard and us, it can't confuse us. I'm just going to quickly run back to the stairs. That would be a bad move because the Orc Wizard could blink and then confuse. It went invis. Okay. No. I was going to say, I could probably go back down and attempt to fight it with Trog's Hand on, but it's just so dangerous when you're susceptible to fire. It had Invis. That doesn't tell us anything. Invis could have this book, which is Magic Dart, or this book, which has... Oh, sorry. Both Invis books have Throw Flame, so that doesn't help. Yeah, okay. So, do all the Wizard books have Throw Flame, actually? No. Okay, well, the first book would have been the preferable one. Alright. Okay, so that's nasty too. So there's only one stair that we can try. No, there's not, because that's a hatch. So our distortion goblin might in fact be guarding the one down stair that's safe. Not the case. We got kind of lucky here. Alright, so we can go down. We now have 2 enemies we're really afraid of. Let's put these gloves on. Gives us another point of AC. We got up to 10. These worms are all free experience. Not much because we're a mummy, but a little bit. So that's they're always welcome. Grinder is here though. This is not a good stair. It's pretty much. It looks like it's basically just making us run to Grinder. Fear does not work on Grinder either. I'm gonna grab this Identify scroll, and I think we actually would be better off fighting the Orc Wizard than Grinder. So that would be this stair? No, the other one. I'm going to assume that the Orc Wizard is there, and I'm going to Trog's Hand beforehand, because I don't want to go down. Punished. Yeah, well, here it is. I don't want to go down and get insta-confused, and then we just die. Please don't hit us with fire. Wait. It had Invis, so it could still have Confuse. Okay, that doesn't help us. You see here, our regen has gone down to dark blue. It means it's running out. As soon as that runs out, I need to put it back on. So I gotta do this slowly. Okay, it's run out. Let's go back on. Can't get confused. Good. Just an enchanted dagger. It's probably just cursed. It doesn't matter anyway. We already ignored a. Ooh, this guy's a flail protection. We already ignored a +2 short sword of draining. So I was about to say, here's a flail, which is an upgrade to our mace. It's a higher base damage, but then this orc actually has a flail of protection. So we're gonna steal that if we can. Nice, we definitely can. He had a scale mail, a flail of protection. One of them had a short sword. I don't know. These guys were pretty decked out. Let's go to the flail of protection. It's a +2. That's great. Even just the fact that a +2 is better than our +0, and then it's a higher base damage. See here, we're swinging at 1.2. So it's slower, but I'm okay with that. We're going to do significantly more damage. And it's also going to give us a nice bonus of AC, which is really strong in the early game. Most things are just trying to hit you for small amounts of damage. Here's Grinder again. She's wanted all the way over here. So dangerous for us to try to fight her. Her attacks are not as dangerous because she can't pain us. She can't pain us. But even just 11 damage attacks are really dangerous. I don't know. I feel like maybe we could give it a go. This is perhaps suicidal, but I feel like we just upped our damage a little bit here by finding the flail of protection. So this could go horribly wrong, especially when you consider that Grinder can blink. So she can actually just kite us until we run out of piety to have Trog's hand, and then she can paralyze us and kill us, but maybe we'll get lucky. Okay, so we've got our bonus damage. We've got 17 AC. So actually, her 11 damage attacks don't scare me too much. It's just, I mean, she could roll a 3% paralyze or blink around like crazy. I'm still going to take this slowly though. If our regen runs out like it just did, we need to put it back on. This is kind of working. Wow. Oh, she blinked. I thought we killed her. Damn it. Nice. Okay. Nice. We just killed a D3 grinder on a mummy. What? That's not a normal thing you say. Let's go strength up to 22. Which means we can now just auto-explore around. We dealt with grinder and the wizard. Didn't see any ghost vaults on this floor, unfortunately. So we're on to D4. Oh boy. We immediately end up next to an orc priest. Can smite for 17 damage max. That's not the button I wanted. Pretty sure it's 17 damage. Yeah, 7 to 17. Smite targeted. Fortunately, we've ended up next to the orc priest, which is nice. So I got two options here. We could just walk back. That's so far to walk while the orc is next to us. I think it could just smite us to death easily. I think we're better off fighting. Okay, we dropped back, so now I'm gonna start walking. I could throw Trog's hand on. It doesn't help me in terms of avoiding smite because that doesn't check your MR or anything like that, but it would give us extra HP regen. We brought the iguana up. It's not fast. It bites for 15, which is quite a lot, but we can just walk away from it. And also, as soon as we get that AC boost, it's pretty, I don't want to say trivial, but it's a lot weaker. Oh right, we should be checking this ring. We've got remove curse, so we can just put it on. +6 strength. Alright, nice. We are a very strong mummy right now. Strong like a warrior. We should get this. Is that the first one we found? I feel like I just keep ignoring stuff. Is that the first sling? It's not. Okay, well I think we should pick this up. And I would love to get the sling bullets on D2. So I'm going to do equals I to put the sling on our B slot. It's not working for some reason. Is that a... what? Equals I M B. Okay, it was working. It was just not telling me the message that usually says it changed. Okay, so we can fire stones at the moment, but sling bullets actually do more damage, so I'm going to pick those up. It gives us a much better ranged option. So rather than throwing stones, we can actually potentially do damage to things. You can switch by pressing Q to go to quiver, or this one's actually, I didn't know this for a very long time, but if you use the bracket buttons, you can actually just switch between ammo pretty easily. You can see it there on the top right. So I'm going to leave sling bullets quivered. Like this, so we can kill that orc without even having to fight it. Here's the orc priest. Let's bring up our flail. Yeah, I thought that might happen. I was letting the orc priest step to us, but then the other orc stepped in front first. Alright, so I put Trog's hand on to get the regen, because at this stage, orc priest could very easily kill you. I'm curious about the glowing leather armor. If that's a +3 glowing leather armor of fire resistance, I'll take it. It's +3 of poison. This is 8-12, and that's 10-9. So this is just better. No, the other one is higher total. Higher total. I think I might stick in this actually. This is because this is higher total defenses, but also we get so much AC out of our flail that I don't mind having the extra evasion that this gives us. Poison resistance doesn't do anything, unfortunately. And we got more orc priests. I was hoping it would walk around the corner there. I'm gonna yell. I want the orc priest to come right up to us so that there's no time in the open where it can be smiting us. I don't know where it got to. Bookshop useless to us. Oh dear, okay, let's go. Alright, that was better, that one. Here's an ogre. We definitely cannot fight an ogre. We're gonna X that out. They do way too much damage this early into the game. And we have no way to kill it from range, whether that's wands or... I mean, we have a sling. We could try to kill it from distance with a sling. I feel like that's very unlikely that we'd fully kill it. We could try. Alright, let's give it a go. Yeah, it's not happening. Alright, let's run away before he gets on top of us. The ogre does 17 damage plus its giant club, which a giant club is 20 damage. Correct. So that's a whole bunch of damage. Could two-shot us, so I don't want anything to do with him. I think this stair is now safe. Yep. So we're just going to need to avoid the ogre. Unless we can find something like a, I don't know, an ice blast wand or a paralysis wand or something that lets us not actually fight him. Let's ID the scroll that we found. It's noise. Okay, drop that. Useless. We one-shot the quokka. Nice. And that one. Nice. We'll give it another go. Yeah, it's not happening. It looks like we more or less done the floor. I'm going to grab our sling bullets there and then just move on. We can come back to fight the ogre, maybe in the future. If we get some means, we can come back and get that experience, but yeah, we can't at the moment. Our weapon's swinging at 1.1, so we're getting it down to 1. It's going to be very slow at -2 aptitude. Still have not seen any ghost vaults. Feels bad. We're going to keep IDing these. Enchant weapon. I'm very tempted to just enchant weapon this. In fact, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm going to do it because this is not a bad weapon and our character is really weak at this point in the game that I'd rather just have the boost. And We don't need to worry about weapon strength later on because Trog will keep gifting us stuff. He'll eventually give us some +9 something, eventually. Scorpions are usually terrifying because of how much poison damage they do, but we're immune to poison, so I'll just fight it. Sky Beast though, that's okay. If it goes invis, we'll just kite it. It did not. Didn't electric shock us either. Here's a Crimson Imp. I noticed that there's a wand over there, which might give us an ogre tool. A wand of flame. Okay, well I'm glad that we picked that up before any other monster did, because we're still susceptible to fire. Let's see. I think evocations, yeah, we're -2 like everything else. I think maybe we could kill an ogre with a wand of flame. Let's give it a go. Yeah. One more. One more. Come on. There we go. Okay, good. So we can finish exploring this floor. There's nothing else there. Alright, good. We have removed curse. Second ring, please. Resistance to fire. -3 evasion. Not quite the same. Whites and Sky Beasts. Sky Beast again, as long as he's not going invis, we can fight him. So when he does that, I'll just walk away. He actually he random energied into us and shocked us a second time. So, oh, and then random energy to catch us again. This guy is on fire. Well, hopefully not, because then we might have to touch him, but this guy is owning. There we go. As for the whites, they're less dangerous than they would be for a normal character because we're not affected by their draining attacks. I'm still going to pick a new stair though, because one white usually means more whites, which usually means getting surrounded, which I don't want. That is a Lagitang. Huh. Alright. And Lagitangs cross-train with maces and flails. Okay, well this is interesting. Alright, Lagitang is a really rare weapon type, but it's a really good one. It's two-handed, but it only requires 14 skill to get to Mindelay. I'm kind of tempted just to go to Lagitangs. The thing is though, our +3 flail of protection is actually really good here. This is hard. +3 flail of protection or Lagitang. If we were still walking around with our +0 mace, I would switch without any second thought. But I'm thinking if we go Lagitangs, we'll never get a shield, but we'll only require 14 training. I think maybe we'll stick with maces and flails. Oh, this is a ghost vault, I think. But I think this is themed to always just be beer characters. Is that true? I didn't see the ghost yet. What's the ghost? Thormy's ghost. Okay, that's definitely not one that I made. Alright. Might have to up the the ghost generation. Might have to bot spam this. It's a gargoyle pause. But yeah, on the Lagitang question, I'm really not sure what I want to do. I feel like I don't want to do Lagitangs, although it's decent. A glowing robe. If that's a +3 of fire resistance, again, I'll take it. Although robes can only be +2, but still, if that's fire resistance, it's hostile enchantment. That looks awesome, the bright red and the purple, but no. We're not worried about magic resistance with Trog because we've got Trog's hand. Yeah, this flail of protection is doing really good work here. I don't know. We'll carry the Lagitang around. Maybe I'll change my mind. It doesn't cost us too much to switch into staves because we've cross-trained up to 4.3, but it still we'd be throwing away some experience on a species that really wants all the experience it can get. Found, oh, so there's a hat in there. Okay, so it's a plain hat, so I don't care about it at all. What else is in there? Maybe that's it. This ghost does nothing, hits for up to 9 damage, so he's actually really weak. That's a enchanted hand axe. Okay, so we could very easily do this ghost vault. It's kind of a bummer that's not one of mine. Maybe to begin the next episode I'll have to, I don't know, up my ghost output. Let's see. Yeah, so we can open this. The only one that matters in here is the Orc Priest. Just checking, we have definitely done all of the floor. Alright. So let's just get around a corner so we can just fight this stuff. The ghost, yeah, it's only going to do 9 damage. We're going to have 15 AC. It's only if the Orc Priest turns up that I'll be worried. Yep, that was fine. Okay, well there's our first ghost experience. Not the one that I wanted though, but that's okay. Rune Scale Mail, we're checking that out. That could be up RF. I want to get to a stair because I know there's an Orc Priest, so I don't want to be caught running around. She's a +1 Scale Mail. That's 9 and 10 compared to 8 and 12. So I guess the leather armor is still better. And we got a plain hat, which is just strictly speaking worse than... Oh, okay, no, we didn't have a helmet. I thought we did. Alright, well then it's strictly better than nothing because now we have a hat and it looks cooler. Alright, on to D6. I think this is the last floor on which I might find ghosts that I created because I didn't make any past this. So fingers crossed again. Here's an ogre. Same play, we're going to go Wand of Flame. Good. We get fighting and maces and flails off that one. This guy is too close. We're gonna go back up. I still don't want to be taking shots from him, even though we've got more HP now. You never know. Alright, we made it to 3 pips of piety. Once we get to 4, then we'll have the ability to make some bros, which I'll explain in a bit. But here's a Vestibular. That's even better for us than a sling. It does more damage. It's slower, so let's test it out. Takes 1.4 to fire, so we don't want to do it on things that are right near us. But for things that are far away, we're going to do pretty sick nasty damage with it. Why can't this happen on my halfling games? Just find an early dungeon for Vestibular. Never happens. Whenever you're playing halfling, you never find them. And then here we are, just a mummy, and it turns up. Reach level 9. We have 22 strength because 6 of this 28 strength is coming from a ring, which we're not going to keep. So I'm going to go strength again. We've got 23 now, so from now on I'm going to go dex. That's another ogre, which we are going to run from. It's all the way back to an upstair. Still got 21 charges. I want to step like that because I don't want to be fighting the ogre like this, where if I have to start running, I've cornered us in. I'm just going to hit him with the flail. He was nearly dead there. It's a one shot away. Shadow Imps, this would be really annoying normally because he can hit you with pain, although it's not smite targeted. I don't know if he can pain you through plants, but we're not afraid of these guys at all because we're immune to negative energy. Poison resistance is literally useless. Here's the temple, of which we do not care about, but I'll have a look. Just because maybe it's, I don't know, there are some cool temples. I don't think that was one of them. Orc Wizard, which means we immediately, 2 of them, we immediately put our Trog's hand on. He's gone invis. I'm just going to go back up. I don't want to fight him invis at all. I don't remember. Did we kill that other ogre? I think we did. Nice. We kill one with the Vestibular. I don't know if that was smart because he could have hit us with RF. So with whatever that thing is called, Puffs of Flame. But I did it anyway. What did we pick up there? A Wand of Ice Blast, very nice. And an Unknown Scroll, Magic Mapping. And we got something else. No, just the Ice Blast one. Okay. Yeah, well that makes us much more powerful as well. Not against an Ice Beast, but they're susceptible to fire much like us. So we can hit him with the one. I'm just going to tab it actually. We have innate RC, so we're not afraid of that. And then we're pretty powerful. I think that's everything I wanted to do, except find one of my ghosts. But well, we only rolled 1, and it was some other random ghost. All right. Well, I'll have to make some new ones then. D7. Oh, I shouldn't have gone down to D7 yet. I should have waited to spawn ghosts on this floor. Alright, so we're probably not going to find one of mine on D7 either. Oh well. So in the next one, we'll be looking for, well, ghosts, but also we can find lair from D8. So this one's going, I'd say, pretty well so far. We had a rough start, which is not unusual for a mummy, but we've come out nicely. So see you next time.